Partnered by Times Influence.
In the backdrop of the AutoCar Awards 2018 presented by Reliance General Insurance, we are going to talk about the topics that are affecting the automobile industry at large. And today we're in conversation with dealers from across India about how digitization has really affected them, whether it is the new websites that are selling cars or whether it is digitization that's coming into their showrooms. And we're in conversation with Mr. Kale, who's the MD and chairman of the Jaikya Group. We're in conversation with Mr. Vinesh Gulati, who's the director of United Automobiles. We're in conversation with Mr. Akash Khante, who is the director of Alcon Enterprises, and Mr. Manish Raj Singhania, who's the managing partner of Rallis Group. Well, let's just dive right into the conversation and find out how, Mr. Kale, have these new websites really affected dealerships. You now have websites actually going out there selling cars, and has that made an impact on the consumer walking into the showroom?
Well, yes, websites do play a very important role as far as generating of new leads. My experience says that when customers visit our showrooms, 35% of them are already aware of what products they want to buy, and they have very well researched and they know everything about the product. It's only the commercials that they come and negotiate at that time. So a large number of customers, up to 35% in our case, coming researched. So this is through the websites.
So this is interesting, because my question was actually, do people really still buy from a website? Or so what you feel is that they're still coming into the showrooms. They may do all their research out there, but the showroom is still important to them. So
the showroom is a very precious item. It's a very high value item. So it's not like a instant decision like a mobile phone or something like that. So its touch feel factor is very important. So what clients do, I agree with Mr. Kale that a lot of clients do a research. 70% of clients go online. 40% of clients have made up their mind what to buy, which product to buy. They go into the showroom mainly to touch and feel the product, maybe have a test drive, negotiations, what is available on the market front. So touch and feel factor is very important to today's client. So it is for a dealership like us, it is important. This tool, as digital tool, helps in growing the footfalls, because footfalls increases by doing such kind of activities. So yes.
What we principally agree here is customer is using the website as an elimination tool. He might be having 10 vehicles to choose from, and he sits on the websites and goes through various data, and he understands, or he shortlists 2 or 3 products. Then he starts physically visiting the showroom for the real touch and feel experience, and for the product and for the commercials, of course, and how he can go and further finalize his product to his liking.
So, Mr. Gulati, has that actually reduced you having to reach out to a vast area of consumers? Are you finding a new consumer coming in who's already researched, he's found out, on the net this dealership is here, and has that helped you in attracting completely new consumers?
So the answer is yes and no both, because no doubt the customers are researching a lot, and the question like the impact of the websites, no doubt it has affected. So normally what our field team used to do, they had to go down to the field and create an inquiry, talk to references, opinion makers. So that has reduced a lot. So we are getting inquiry from the websites, but still the problem is the websites are not a full solution. So what is happening is customer is researching from a website, coming down to a showroom, and once he is in the showroom, he is not in touch with the websites after that. So it's our baby then. So basically the long-term relationships is being built by us. So it's just like a knowledge bank on the website what customers are using. We do get the leads from them. The portals are charging for that. But in the end, it is us who are able to satisfy his physical buying need and satisfying even the requirement what actually happens. It's very difficult that a website can define how a customer can get a finance, or how can he get an exchange price of a vehicle. So the showrooms are still needed, and these websites are not a full solution. That is why they are not making quite a big impact. Only till lead generation they are important.
And I would add further, in automobile retail, sales is just the start. That is where the relationship starts. It is just not like you purchase a shirt or a pant or whatever and you're off the hook with the manufacturer or the store. You start a relationship from there, and over a period of the product cycle, you have to maintain a relationship with the dealership or the manufacturer so that you get a good service throughout. That cannot be done by any website or something like that. It can just be a complementary tool in sales, but all the physical aspects have to be attended and done by the dealerships.
So how much of this lead generation that you're talking about now is coming through these websites? Is the percentage increasing, and do you see that?
It's increased a lot.
It's increasing.
It has increased. But again, the cost of lead generation, you see, if you compare the three mediums, one is newspapers, it costs around 4,000 rupees per lead. It's very expensive. If you talk about mall displays, then that costs about 1,500 rupees per lead, and web leads 300 rupees. So that way it's very cost effective to get web leads. But web leads are, sort of a universe. I mean, the conversions from web leads are not as high. I would rate them at 5% conversion through web leads. But whereas otherwise the other activities, definitely the conversions are much higher.
I would just add on to what Mr. Kale said, the new car web leads are at 5%, 6%. But what is tremendous is the used car web leads. Most of the websites today are mainly for used cars. They started from used car, now focusing towards new car, which is in very nascent stage. So used car can go up to maybe 20-25% web leads. And what happens is it shows a benchmark or a target value or token value for the vehicle he might fetch in the market price. So used car, yes, a lot of digitization has helped in used car, but on new car segment, I think it's 5-6% is the right percentage to say.
And all of you have dealerships from across the range, from small cars to high-end cars. So do you find this lead generation also veering towards an end of the market? Do you think it's less or more towards lower-end cars or higher-end cars, or is it just across the board?
So it's actually not because the lower-end or high-end cars. It's basically on the demographic. So if you are in a metro, you will get bigger leads, the higher percentage of leads. If you talk of tier 2 town or tier 3 town, the leads are very minimal and the conversion is pathetic. So the conversion would be 1-2%. Whereas when you talk of NCR or Bombay or anywhere metro, the leads
we
are
still
good.
live in India. As soon as you go outside the periphery of the city, your 3G, 2G, every kind of 4G network is gone. Especially in tier 2 and 3 city areas. So rural sales, that where exactly we are getting the incremental sales from, there I don't think there is
digitization has not affected it, is what you're saying.
Absolutely
That's very
not.
interesting.
And even the literacy level affects that. So maybe south, even in rural, you will find digital leads working more, but north is bad. It's really bad.
Especially in luxury segment, if you see the average age of a customers in India is one of the lowest. Around 35 to 40 years age, the customer buying a luxury brand. So all these people who are 35, 40 are very tech savvy. So digital is their first impression. They connect to digitalization. They compare the products available in the market. They compare the features. And now, as you said, everything is available at the click of a button. So it's very important to be in that space. So yes, 35 to 40 age, you have to be digital present. Of course, I agree with him that India is not over digital in all rural areas as well, but being in digital as a part of your search optimization or search marketing, so all these are very important tools.
I'm going to come back to an interesting subject that Mr. Singhania actually left me thinking about. You were talking about how it's only lead generation that's happening through digitization. There is a whole relationship beyond that is between the dealer and the consumer. Do you see digitization seeping into that as well? Because it is for you at a level where now even service and all is becoming far more digitized. So do you see that digitizing and that also changing completely with the new generation that's all about apps and smartphones?
I would really want to. It will save me a lot of money actually, If you as a consumer, if you are able to generate your own job card at your home, and if you are able to list down your problems at home rather than telling your driver or chauffeur, these are the problems, and you yourself are able to list down and my team is able to see it, that can reduce a lot of communication gap. It would be reduction of my cost and a better service to the customer. So if those things happen, and we see some of the companies focusing, but I think a much higher focus is required on this front. It will only increase a better customer relationship between the dealer and the customer.
So in this, lot of OEMs are working. Mahindra has come up with a Vidyo Hamisha app, where in the app you can fix an appointment and even mention what are the issues. But on the other hand, the digitization in services is a threat to us also, because there are many portals coming in which are committing that you can get service through them, they'll pick up, get the vehicle service and drop. So there the authorized service station is normally not involved, because they normally go to the roadside or whatever workshop they have made. So that's a threat which all the OEMs are working so that all the customers are on their app only. So I feel that's because the customer is defined it at that time. So that wouldn't be a major issue.
See, the control of authenticity of the source from where you are getting yourself, your knowledge, the customer is getting his knowledge from or her knowledge from is very important. So normally when we see a sales inquiry coming in and they are saying you have an X showroom price of this much, we say no. And sites, various websites, they carry our schemes, one scheme and they flash it out throughout the year. So we have to repeatedly tell the customer, sir, please go and refer to the official company website where the dealer listing and monthly price list and monthly schemes are updated. Similarly, if we don't attend to the originality or authenticity of the service station, then the customer can suffer actually.
So digitization is a dangerous tool as
Yeah,
well.
both ways.
Is
both
what
ways.
you're saying, because it is also spreading misinformation. As much as it is spreading information. We're in a very interesting discussion about how digitization is affecting dealerships. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more. Welcome back. We're in conversation about how digitization is affecting the dealership, and there's heated discussion happening. You said that you'd be very happy to have this kind of digitization in your service. So why isn't it happening, and what are the challenges?
Lot of, not all the companies, like I'm also Mahindra dealers, we see a very dramatic change happening here. Lot of focus is there, apps have been made, and it is, we are ensuring the apps are downloaded in the customer mobiles. For me as a dealer, the customer using the app is very, the process gets very fast, very transparent, and I don't know about the other manufacturers, but time is very ripe, and looking to the new age, younger set of buyers, if everybody can switch over to a app-based service application, that can be very, very mutually beneficial.
So actually the problem is not this. The problem for sales is you have to just give a data. You don't have to link it to anything. So it's a car, it's a price. Once you talk about the service, you have to share the SAP data, and it has to be unique customer. So if you own an XUV, so you have to clicking on your chassis number to know what is happening.
Correct.
And maybe that chassis number would have a different part than his XUV. So that has to be linked to backend, and it's costly. So working on the backend SAP and making an app which can work in their data bank, it's a bit difficult part, and it's a very security issue also. So the companies are trying, but as compared to sales website and digitization, this is at least 10 or maybe 20 times costly and 20 times tedious to make it.
As you said, every win number is different. It's a riskier proposition because of so many customer complaints, customer forums which are available. This might lead to something which you are not can comprehend. Very important part is, as a dealers or as every OEM, they have already started this work into after sales, online marketing, online tools. Basic thing it's an nascent stage. So today approvals, getting approval from clients through WhatsApp video, which is also digital. We forget a WhatsApp tool today is the most digital tool.
Correct.
Because a lot of approvals from our advisors side gets approved from WhatsApp. So the whole process become faster. I agree with sir that it will take time to get the entire process into digitalization, which your advisors will be a kind of communication tool rather than being a person who is like a doctor of the car. So today it is at very nascent stage, but I'm sure going ahead it will be a very efficient tool for all of us if all the tweaking is done properly.
Even in finance field, I think digitization is playing a big role, because loan approvals are just in 2 hours these days. You upload all the information and digitally you get the approval immediately. So that is also playing a big role in quickening the sales process. Secondly, when the installments are being collected, that also at the they have these point of sale machines, and which give them the receipt immediately. So the customer is satisfied that I have paid somebody who has come on a visit to me, and when do I get a receipt? In normal circumstances, he would go back to the showroom and then send a receipt back. So here he gets the receipt on the spot. So the transparency is also maintained.
But I am seeing, because we do also have a lot of people who approach us with these kind of apps that they're developing. I think where I'm seeing a gap is you guys expect manufacturer to do, and manufacturer is expecting dealer to do at some point his own app development.
Dealer can never do.
Why
Never.
is that? Because see, at one end, while it is about parts, I completely understand that. But where it is about offering a service to your consumer, when has my car come into the service, what is it, which mode is it going on, that is restricted to the information that you can provide and pass on to the consumer, as well as the service history, because it's coming through you, right? So you will provide as much service history as he's done in your workshop. You cannot provide beyond that.
No, you get the information.
The service history, all the basic data is on the SAP. It's not with us. So we can only provide if we are getting a pickup to your vehicle. So the pickup and then coming up and then going back. That's it. Even if all the backend is with the OEM.
Even if the vehicle has been serviced at some other dealer point or some other authorized service center, the history is available. So, I mean, if the customer wants and if we want to know where all the vehicle has been attended to, the history is available on the net. So that way,
from customer satisfaction point of view, you can always tell him that yes, your car will be ready by X, Y time. That can be as a dealer's. That a lot of apps are already available.
Apps are there. You get
SMS blast can be done
cost
on that.
And time.
But getting the system from the SAP, it's a very tricky.
Right now, whenever you bring in your vehicle, the estimate goes. Whenever we close the job card, the closer time and the billing amount that goes to the customer. That is automatic.
So all those are at dealer.
So you have also had to automate a lot at your level, and that has completely changed. And is that the demand from the consumer now? You find that he's coming in expecting this?
For example, now in sales, today the brochures, the physical brochures are outdated. Today you work on an iPad or on any tab, and it's all smart. You can choose the color, you can show the color options, accessories options, all at a touch of a button. So yes, digitization has also helped in saving a lot of unnecessary I would say paperwork, and it's for good. So yes, I would say yes, I agree with this.
So additionally, I'll say, I don't know if anybody has gone through, JD Power has just come up his questionnaire for the current session of sales satisfaction. So they have gone away with sales initiation, and they have introduced a topic of dealer websites on that. So that is where you were saying dealer has to do. So now JDP is even asking 7 or 8 questions to all the customer that was there any dealer website and was it beneficial to you or not. So they have just started. So obviously dealer websites are already there and they are working. So digitization from the dealer side is there. So it's happening. The things are changing.
You will see an increase in how that dealer website develops as to what all other services that dealer website provides will increase, is what you're saying.
What we can do through our websites are providing various kind of services like service appointments or renewal of insurance and finance options, detailing his EMI calculations. These are the things that our dealer website can more aggressively monitor.
This time JD Power is even checking on if you have your inventory online on your website. So this year this question is being asked. So obviously saying that we cannot provide all the things, it's not there. We have to provide even our stock so that customer sitting at his home can check that if he wants a i10 red color of this variant, is it available in the dealer stock?
How long will it take?
Yeah. So
Mr. Kale, do you think that this 5% will increase? Do you think that digitization is going to penetrate more? And do you think that even tier 2, tier 3 cities will see a bigger return from digitization?
I see that the government initiative is also working. They are wanting everybody to be linked with Aadhaar, which is again through digitization. They want to link up the bank accounts and everything. So the education about digitization is spreading to the rural areas as well. So by and by, I feel sometime you should allow some time for the rural folks to actually come onto the platform and then start using this platform more aggressively and to their benefit. So good initiative from government side. So now it has to be carried forward again. But as Manish had also said that rural India is still not geared up, still not ready for this. It is, digitization is limited to WhatsApp messages in the rural India.
Don't forget Facebook.
And movies.
And movies. But again, Facebook is also proving to be a good medium through which you can popularize your products and services. So that is also a very cost-effective medium, and yes, it does give results.
Okay, so I'm going to do a quick wrap. It's been a fantastic discussion, and I've actually learned so much now of what's going on. But digitization, positive, negative, and do you see it as the future?
Yes, I do see it as a future.
Yeah, and it's a positive.
It's a positive thing.
So it's positive, and I do see a future. But for tier 2, tier 3 town, it's still time to come.
Big positive. I think digital is the future. As Mr. Kale said, India is moving toward digitalization, and it's click of a thumb, I would say. One Aadhaar card will be able to see entire data. So definitely positive.
Very positive on it, and the more we get from digitization, I hope it reduces our cost also in some way or the other. That would be a big step. And I think one of the, in sales point, one small input I forgot to give, tabs have made a very substantial difference, because the customer now who's coming to the showroom is so educated, we cannot keep on updating our sales team, back office, our sales team very regularly, and they fall behind. Now the tabs with the latest update between our product and competing products, that gives them a ready reference, so that they are able to interact with the literate customer. And more so ever in the field, when a salesman is in the field, and if he or she opens up the tab to interact with the customer, that's quite impressive actually.
So one data I have, this is some Bain and Facebook report, which points out that nearly 70% of Indian automobile sales of $40 billion will be digitally influenced by 2020, compared with 18 billion today. But the main point is digitally influenced. So the showrooms are still there. Yeah. We will be always there. So, but yes, the influence, digital is a thing which will make or change the customer's mind.
And we humbly request, please drop into the showroom, have a test drive, feel the vehicle, then buy it.
Absolutely. So there you go. We have it. Digitization is there, but it is only to influence the buy. The showroom will still be the king, is what we have learned.
Partnered by Times Influence.